What's good, folks? It's KnightmareFrame here with a new little discussion topic about Warframe. Things Warframe desperately needs to give amazing quality of life, expansions to existing content, and better experience for players, especially new players. Because these are things that are talked about a lot, but we never see them implemented. Or maybe sometimes they just take years before they're actually implemented. Now, quality of life is very important in games where you do a lot of repetitive actions, sorting through a lot of items and inventory management. Because when you have quality of life, you'll have a game that's smoother, more intuitive, and less tedious to play without fundamentally altering the core challenge or mechanics. Because hey, we're in 2026, not in the 90s or early 2000s, and Warframe has added a few good quality of life features that do of course help the user, like the search bar in the options, tweaking damage numbers, scale size, and how much you see, enemy highlights, fast traveling to most consoles and NPCs. I say most, but it still needs tweaking. And I also did mention expansion on existing content, things that were added and kind of felt left behind without any impactful additions that make the game feel more alive and not just added for the one update to end up feeling like bloat. So let's start off with the marketplace, something that every player will interact with sooner or later. Some sooner. The market does have a horrible design. And why is that? Because it is confusing for the new player. I have a friend who recently started playing Warframe. May she find peace. It's frustrating for the both of us when she asks me, hey, what does that do? Why doesn't this tell you what this does? Because unfortunately, the game does a bad job at explaining the most basic things, like Forma. This was a rant she had for like a half hour, and it was justified. You know what Forma does, right? Hopefully. But right now, if you go into the marketplace and check the description for Forma, or even, type Forma and see the little pop-up, the description makes no sense. Unless you have established knowledge of what it does, then you can see, oh, I get it. But to any random or just average player, they're like, what the fuck is this? It's just random jargon. Hullabaloo. Here's my suggestion. It's a good one because I'm right. When you hover over Forma in the market, just say what it does in one sentence. When used, it halves the cost of the matching bot polarity type. And have a little video when you hover over it as well to show you what it does. Like, you click this, put that, boom. The mod is now half the cost. Revolutionary. I know, I'm a genius. You're welcome. I mean, let's be honest, this isn't rocket science. So make the descriptions of items on the market actually explain what they do. Heck! Make better descriptions for most things in the game, cause you know it's needed. With the Forma issue aside, I did say the marketplace has a horrible design, because when you look at this thing, it just floods you with random nonsense that you don't even know what you need. So I implore whoever is in charge of making the market design, put things that are going to be beneficial for players, especially new players. So right now, this, as you can see, my wish list is right here. It shows all the things that are going to be useful. Have this at the front page for people. You don't need all these old piece collection, blah, blah, blah. It's not pop. Listen, this is not popular. What's popular are the boosters, the Forma bundles, all of these things. These are the most important things in the market. Have this appear for new players, at least for the first time they start the game. And have specific bundles tailored for new players. The combination of boosters, ranging from the 3-day one, 7 days, to even the 40-day boosters. I'm pretty sure they had something like this, right? Back in the days, I don't remember, correct me if I'm wrong. Have these for at least like a one-time purchase that you can upgrade over time. So have the featured section show things that are going to be actually beneficial for new players and your average players. Not any of this nonsense that nobody even... What is this? Like, why do we need this? Huh? Why do we need this? And here's one thing that could change Warframe forever. For the better. Hear me out. One-time leveling. Why do we need to run a mission over and over again every time we place a Forma on a Warframe or a weapon? It's dated and dumb. What's worse, imagine doing it because you have to because of mastery. Case in point, adversary weapons. Just make it one-time level. You can increase the max rank to 40 to match the adversary weapons, and let it be a one-time level so we can finish our builds and play the game. This next one is small, but more of a mods console thing. We have bulk delete mods for endo, or even converting them into credits. But why can't we do that for transmutation? Bulk transmutation. Because having to click 5 million times just to transmute is friggin' annoying, tedious, and absolutely dated. Also, please, for the love of God, remove the Mastery Rank 10 restriction for auto-filling I-10 stars into sculptures. Why do people have to be MR10 to autofill stars? Sorry, that's just a thing I always bring up, because I always look at it and I'm like, why is this a thing? Also, moving on to something super important for me, and of course other players who enjoy making and playing with a lot of builds on the same Warframe. Expansive Loadouts. Now, what did I mean about the Expansive Loadouts? Have a look at this particular loadout right here, the Fat Cook loadout. I have 2 Fat Cooks. Now this particular Saren has purple shards and a red shard, and it's buffing a particular build that's for Roar. Unfortunately, I cannot have a different variation of this build using different Archon shards. Let's say I want to change up a few things, but add different Archon shards. Unfortunately, I can't do that because we don't have Archon shard loadouts. So I would need a completely different loadout with different Archon shards. You see what I'm saying right now? And another thing is, let's say I want to have a helmet ability. For example, in this case, Zanta's Whisper. I want it on Blasphemous on the first ability on one build, and the other build I want it to be on the 4th ability, where it's usually supposed to be, because Saren's 4th ability is doo-doo water. We can't do that on the same Warframe, so we have to have a different Warframe yet again. Hence why when it comes to Saren, we have other Sarens using different loadouts, different Archon shards, etc, etc. You get my point. And your casual players don't have the luxury of getting multiple Warframes, leveling them up a bunch of time, putting different polarities on them. Thank God we have Omniforma now, but let Omniforma affect Umbroforma. Let's be honest, Umbroforma... Why? Why do we need a different... Why? Just all in one. Omniforma. Your average player is not going to have all of those things to make multiple different builds. So just make it easier for all of us. One frame, have multiple loadouts with different Archon shards. Let's say for our loadout 1, we have full red shards for strength or duration with a specific helmet. And then the other loadout can use the same helmet but on a different ability slot with different Archon shards. This is going to be so much better for Warframe. We don't have to craft multiple. I know you leave it like this because people will spend money. But with the latest update of Old Peace, we got access to Descendia. It's a tower that you delve deep into. You get these little checkpoints where you get random buffs. It's like almost like a roguelite, but really badly done. Hopefully they change these buffs because the buffs feel so underwhelming. And we need an option to actually skip them because some of them are just like completely just ruin your entire build and they just make no sense. Anyway, skipping the buffs. This idea of a tower that you delve deep into is a great idea. Hopefully they can expand more into it, turning it into a custom dungeon of your own, where it can exponentially grow, grant you more rewards, meaningful rewards, okay? And of course, down the line, become somewhat challenging. I've already given up on the idea of, having endgame in Warframe. It's just not going to happen. There's just too much power creep, etc, etc. So if they can focus on meaningful content, something that is sustainable, rewarding, that you can just play over and over and just feel good about it. Like, for example, something similar to Path of Exile 2's Temple. Now, my Temple is not the greatest. This is just something I started on recently on my character. Yes, I got into Temple a bit late. But this is like your own custom dungeon. Like you run it, you add rooms, and you can snake around, and each new room gives you more modifiers, so you can end up getting more loot, and enemies become tougher. It's your own custom dungeon that progressively gets harder, all right? But of course, if you have a really good build, you just nuke everything. Similar to Warframe. So for example, right now we finished a room, we go into this room, we kill a bunch of enemies, and it's very quick, right? You interact with this thing, and then you just go to the next room, blast it, and that was like a mini-boss. He just got nuked because, awesome build. Another thing, when you play like the temple in Path of Exile, it gives you a lot of experience on top of experience and loot and all that, right? So it makes it way more rewarding than running anything else. Because right now we're at level 99. This is the first time I've actually hit level 99 in Path of Exile. It's crazy because just doing the temple is just so rewarding. You get a bunch of divines. I haven't dropped a mirror yet, but I've got enough divines to actually buy a mirror. Case in point, we got the mirror bow, but you get the idea. Having a custom dungeon or something custom in Warframe that's suited to your needs, that you can build upon, like grind hard every week, you know, get the resources, get the stuff to build your own dungeon. Just like how you can build your own dojo, you can have a custom dungeon. And yes, Descendia could actually be something like that. And hopefully, you know, hopefully. See, I'm always coping when it comes to these types of things, right? So I'm just saying, hopefully DE looks into this. We already know DE doesn't like me, so they're not gonna like listen to me. But you know, for the people who actually like the idea, you know, just push the message out there. Just don't be weird about it. This also brings up the topic of resource bloat. Resource bloat usually happens when a game, especially a long-running game, live service, or an MMO, suffers from feature creep. So you know power creep, but now with a bunch of features. Get it? Anyway, it's a common practice when developers add new materials for every new expansion to prevent veteran players from instantly buying their way through content with their hoarded riches. But then platinum exists. Just saying. Bloat happens when they add artificial scarcity. This makes the new updates feel fresh. Devs create a specific currency or resource that can only be found in the new zone, to then have redundant crafting where you need all these random new items to make the same mid-tier weapon to add a sense of regional variety. And that weapon ends up being mastery rank fodder. You know I'm spitting facts right now. Over years of updates, old resources become obsolete, but stay in the game and in player inventories, taking up space and even confusing new players. Of course, when resources aren't consolidated, the game stops being about the core gameplay and starts being an inventory management simulator. I mean, DE added old and even new resources to the helmet, but that's just a band-aid fix. We don't need all these weird random things. Just keep it simple. Have a few resources for each region and make it make sense. Why do we need to go here to get this token, for that, to get this thing, and then put it here? I'm like, why? Just focus on more important things like fixing bugs, adding meaningful content, and of course, giving PC and console players an auto melee toggle. Why is it that mobile is the only one with auto melee toggle, huh? Before some smartass writes in the comments, here's the PC when you search for melee. And this is mobile. Auto melee is dumb and buggy. If you want to make everyone's life easier, even your own, just add a toggle. And apparently it ain't hard because mobile's got it. Sorry, little rant, okay? Talking about consolidation, why do we have two options on the navigation? The Dark Refractory and Navigation. Dark Refractory opens up this menu where you can go into Descendia and Perita Rebellion, of course, a fast travel to Sanctum Automatica. Now, why is this dumb? Because have a look at this. When we go into Navigation, on the top right, we have every little thing that we can do. And right at the bottom, we have access to Davinci and Railjack. Clicking on Davinci opens up a whole new section where we can do Davinci activities. Why isn't the Dark Refractory another option here? Not to mention, we also have access to Nightwave right there. Resource Drone. Just make things more compact and easy. Don't make this into a Japanese game with a bunch of menus, alright? It's already annoying when you play Monster Hunter having to open up a window and then another window and then another window to click one button, then go back to another window so you can confirm it. Yeah, don't do that. Please don't do that. Just don't do that. While we're here, why don't we have our own custom fast travel points? So you see how when we go to the Dark Refractory, right, we have the fast travel to Sanctum Automatica. You get what I'm saying. Why can't we set up where we can have, let's say, another option, another drop down here, and we can click to our own custom locations. So boom, if you want to go straight to, let's say, Cetus, it's just a click, so we don't have to go to the navigation, click on Earth, click on Cetus, you know. Let us customize our own fast travel points, especially for people who like to do a specific mission or go to a specific location all the time. Like, for example, Cascade farmers, right? They go to Cascade. So you can give us an option where we can just fast travel to where we want to go whenever without having to, I hate to say it, navigate the navigation. It's just a small quality of life, you know? I know there are some people who might disagree on this. Oh, but it's for the immersion. I like to go here and here. So, but why do we have the fast travel to Sanctum Atentatomidamaka? Huh? Exactly. Because when we open up the wheel and we want to fast travel, let's say we click on navigation, it takes us into navigation. But then you come here and you're like, oh, but I don't want this. I want to go to Descendia, whatever. So I have to actually exit. That's another menu I have to go out of and then open up this one. See, it's too many buttons. Too many buttons. If we click navigation, just take us to navigation and have everything all in one. Doesn't that make more sense? Am I crazy for asking something that makes sense in Warframe where nothing makes sense? I know, I'm sorry. Anyway, that has been it from me. I do have enjoyed and learned something from this video. And if you did, please feel free to leave a like, share, and subscribe for more Warframe content, streams, and so much more. Do refer to the description. Thanks for watching, and as always, a peace. Bye-bye now.